I was standing on a rooftop in Southern California at 19 years old, staring at the street below. I had nothing. No direction, no purpose, no hope. My parents were divorced. I'd been to more schools than I could count. And my own mother had spent years telling me I never amounted to anything. Standing on top of that rooftop, I believed her. That moment of desperation drove me to make a decision that saved my life. I walked into a military recruiting station the next day. The structure, the discipline, the brotherhood, it gave me everything I was looking for. But more importantly, it taught me something that would haunt me for decades. That pain could be fuel. Fast forward 25 years, I'm sitting in a hospital bed, heart monitors beeping around me, and I'm thinking about that rooftop again. Not because I wanted to end it all, but because I realized I had been slowly killing myself in a completely different way. I had built multiple businesses, generated nearly $50 million in revenue, achieved everything I thought that would make me happy. But I was dying inside. And my body was finally forcing me to face the truth. I'm Karl Jacobi, combat veteran turned entrepreneur, performance coach, speaker, father, and husband. And if you're a high achiever who feels like you're winning at business, but losing at life, what I'm about to share could save you from the trap that nearly destroyed me. Because there's a difference between pain and suffering. And most people never learn from it. See, pain is mandatory if you want to build something great. Pain teaches us, strengthens us, and shows us what we're made of. When I was going through military training, every challenge, every moment I wanted to quit was building something inside me. That pain had purpose. But suffering is optional. Suffering is living in a prison of your own making, chasing dreams that aren't even yours anymore. I spent years suffering in comfort. Beautiful home, luxury cars, bank accounts that would make most people dizzy. From the outside, sure, I had everything. But I was trapped in a cycle of proving myself to people who would never be satisfied, including the voice in my own head that sounded exactly like my mother telling me I wasn't good enough. Here's what nobody tells you about success. It can become your own prison. You start grinding to prove something, to escape something, to become someone. But somewhere along the way, the very thing that was supposed to free you becomes the thing that enslaves you. You're working 80 plus hours a week, not because you love the work, but because you're terrified of what happens if you stop. I remember talking to a guy who owned a massive construction company. From the outside, he had it all. But he told me something that shook me to my very core. He said, "Karl, I built this empire to give my family everything I never had. But now my kids are grown and they barely know me. I gave them everything except the one thing they actually wanted, their father." My friend, that's called the success trap. It convinces you that once you hit that next milestone, once you make that next million, once you get that recognition, then you'll be happy. Then you'll have all the time for what matters, right? But that day never comes because the trap just keeps moving the goalposts. I was in that hospital bed because my body was breaking down from all the stress. 30-something years old, and I was falling apart. Their doctor looked at me and said, "You need to slow down or this is going to kill you." But I couldn't slow down. I was addicted to the grind. Addicted to proving myself. Addicted to the very thing that was destroying me. That's when I had to face the brutal truth. I was building a monument to my own insecurity. Every late night, every missed family dinner, every sacrifice was just me trying to win approval from someone who was no longer here to give it. But here's what changed everything. I realized that the strongest people I knew weren't the ones who never fell down. They were the ones who just got back up. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over again. They understood something that I had forgotten. That true strength isn't about grinding until you break. It's about knowing when to bend so you don't shatter. I started studying the people I admire the most. Not just successful people, but fulfilled people who had built something great without losing their souls in the process. And I discovered that they all had something in common. They understood that life had seasons. There are seasons for grinding, for building, or for pushing through. But there are also seasons for the rest, for connection, for being present with the people who matter. The problem is, most of us get stuck in one season. We think that because grinding worked to get us here, we have to keep grinding forever. What if I told you there's a different way? What if you could build wealth and keep your soul? What if you could achieve your dreams without sacrificing everything that makes those dreams worth having? It starts with understanding the difference between being busy and being productive. I've seen this transformation happen over and over in my Inner Circle coaching program. Just last month, one of my students told me he went from working 90 plus hours a week and barely seeing his kids to running a more profitable business in 40 hours while coaching his son's baseball team. My other student was on the verge of divorce because his wife felt like a business widow. Now they take monthly trips together and his marriage is stronger than ever. The difference was that they worked less hard. They worked with more intention. More importantly, it's about understanding that your worth isn't determined by your achievements. Your worth is inherent. You don't have to earn it. I had to learn to be present. Really present. When I was with my family, put the phones away. When I was working, I focused completely on the task at hand. I stopped trying to do everything at once and started to do one thing at a time, but doing it fully. The success trap wants you to believe you have to choose between success and fulfillment. But that is the biggest lie of all. The most successful people I know aren't the ones who sacrificed everything for their dreams. They're the ones who built their dreams around what actually mattered to them. Here's what I wish someone had told me 20 some years ago. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're empty inside, what's the point? You can build an empire, but if you're the only one living in it, you're just a king of nothing. The path out of the success trap isn't about working less. It's about working with purpose. It's about remembering why you started in the first place. It's about building something that serves not just your bank account, but your soul. That 19-year-old kid standing on a rooftop thought he had nothing to live for, but he was wrong. He just couldn't see it yet. Sometimes we have to lose everything to find what actually matters. Sometimes we have to break before we can become whole. If you're caught in the success trap, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to choose between achievement and fulfillment. You can have both, only if you're willing to stop suffering in comfort and start living with purpose. The question isn't whether you can escape. The question is whether you will. Because the person you're meant to become is waiting for you to stop proving yourself and start being yourself. But here's the thing. Even when you know you need a change, there's often something deeper holding you back. Those voices in your head telling you you're not good enough. You don't deserve better. That just is just how life is. I made a video about breaking free from that head trash. Those limiting beliefs that keep us trapped even when we know better. Watch this video and listen. You don't have to choose between achievement and fulfillment. You can have both, but only if you're willing to redefine what success actually means. Only if you're willing to stop suffering and comfort and start living with purpose. Here's the thing. You're not alone in this journey. You will find your tribe to support you, to guide you, to cheer for you. You just have to be open and look for it. If you want to connect with me, you can check the description below. See you in the next video.